I'm Chantal Roberts, and I'm a nationally recognized insurance thought leader regarding claims handling practices and procedures. Today on The Art of Adjusting, we're discussing condo and renters insurance. Most people are familiar with the HO policy, which is the standardized homeowners policy for lay people. It's usually known as an HO3. Renter's insurance is known as an HO04, so it still uses that homeowners prefix, but it is specifically for renters. It covers the tenant's personal property only, and liability, it can cover the building. Condo coverage is listed under a standardized policy of an HO06, again, a homeowner's prefix on that. And it's similar to an HO03, the homeowners, with one notable difference. It covers basically the walls or the paint in, depending on how the condo association agreement is written. So let's discuss both types of policies. The HO04 is best for people who rent apartments or homes. It's not for commercial tenants. Renters insurance will pay for the tenant's contents, which is their clothing, the couch, the TV, pots and pans, the bed, etc. It does not cover the building, the apartment, or the house, except for the tenant's liabilities, which may have caused the damages. So, for example, if the building sustains hail damage, the HO04 wouldn't cover that. If there is a burst pipe, for example, it could cover that if the tenant didn't leave the heat on in the building or the apartment. And that's the reason why the pipe froze and burst, creating all of that damage. Now, what the HO4 would pay for, definitely in this particular instance, is the couch that got wet, some of the clothes maybe that got wet, or anything that's on the floor that may have gotten wet. It would definitely pay for that because it's contents. It depends on if the tenant is found to be responsible for the burst pipe because of the cold nature. Another good example would be a fire. If a fire breaks out for an electrical reason, that's not something that the tenant did, then the HO4 would not answer to that, but it would pay for the tenant's clothing that got smoke damage or burned, or the bed that got burned or something to that effect. If the tenant fell asleep in a bed with a cigarette or left a candle burning unattended and that caught the apartment or the house on fire, then the HO4 would answer to the clothing again, the bed, anything with smoke damage. But there would also be another claim for the liability for the building damage that was created as a result of the tenant's negligence. So there would be two claims there. Now, the HO6 is for condo owners, and it has a different kind of way that it handles losses. You not only look at the policy itself, but an adjuster would also need to look at the condo owner agreement, which will often list the kinds of insurance or the types of things that the condo owners association covers versus what the individual condo owner covers. Essentially, the condominium owner is buying a box of air. So it's very similar to a commercial tenant and that aspect. So what it covers is usually the sheetrock or the wall or the paint inwards. It doesn't cover like the sheetrock out, so the framing. In fact, I'm going to try to share my screen real quick here so that you can see. So for example, if a pipe burst here inside the walls due to cold temperatures, the condo association that owns the pipe, they would have to pay for it. The condo insurance, the HO6, would pay for the sheetrock and perhaps the flooring and anything that happened to get wet because of the burst pipe, things on the floor, for example, books or the couch or something to that effect. Uh, they would pay for that and then subrogate against the condo owners who would pay for the insulation and the framing that you would see here. Let's say then, for example, that we have an electrical issue right here with this box. If the condo owner again did the electrical work himself or herself, then yes, again, the HO6 would cover from the sheetrock inside this box of air where this gentleman is standing. But then a second claim would be open for the liability, which would cover basically the edge of this sheetrock right here into the insulation, into the framing, maybe the subfloor underneath the normal flooring if that got burnt, or the ceiling if it burned up into another complex, another condos complex. It would pay for the rafters there, and then perhaps if the fire went all the way up into the other condominium apartment, then perhaps it would pay for a whole new apartment with that condo owner there. So I hope that makes a little sense. When adjusting the claim, as I mentioned with the HO6, be sure to get the condo owner's agreement, or if you're the condo owner, be sure to give the condo owner agreement, the condo association's owner's agreement to your adjuster. For the HO4, the renter's insurance, be sure to give that to the adjuster as well, so that the adjuster can adjust the claims properly. This week, I discussed condo and renters insurance, which have different types of coverages from the HO3. Every claim is different, and every insurer has different protocols for handling losses. However, this being in the litigated world that we're in, see below for some legalese. Few claims go to a jury trial, and picking the expert who has been deposed the most or who's gone to trial the most may not be the correct expert. Failing to have a second set of eyes on the claim in order to save some expenses isn't always the best way to resolve a loss. As an expert witness and a former claims adjuster, I am sharing my experiences in the art of adjusting. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time.